All right, y'all. It looks like we got Jay Z back in the limelight again, once again, after all the dust has settled, after everything got settled with P. Diddy and them. He's finally crawled up from under his rock and he's ready to be back on full blast as if nothing has ever happened. Just about 5 months ago, you couldn't find anything about him, didn't know if he was still alive, didn't know if he was still married to Beyonce, didn't even know if the man was going to leave country or not. That looks suspect to me, but now that the dust is finally cleared, let's take a look on what he's been doing lately. We've heard the freestyle where he's dissing Drake and Dame and everybody. And I simply still don't, I don't sit, it doesn't sit well with me personally um, on what this man really does behind the scenes. I could be completely wrong. It's just my opinion. But let me know what y'all think in the comments below and let's delve into it.
Jay-Z just set the internet on fire. His Roots Picnic freestyle went completely viral after he aimed bars at Drake, Nicki Minaj, Kanye, Tory Lanez, and several others. While everyone is focused on decoding these bars, they are failing to realize what this freestyle just seemed to confirm. The pressure has officially gotten to Jay-Z. He can no longer pretend he doesn't hear what is being said about him. He is being forced to address it. Today, you will see how this freestyle and his recent GQ interview reveal just how desperate Jay-Z is to shift the current narrative. It is no surprise that Jay-Z's reputation has been in a shaky place as of late. For years, there was a lot of industry rumors floating around that made Jay look questionable. But things got to a whole different level when headlines started surfacing that seemed to give merit to the rumors. Things escalated even further when his name was being brought up alongside those documents at the beginning of the year. People started looking at those past relationships with figures who walked in those questionable circles and started thinking that Jay was just like them. His entire reputation had shifted, and people were looking at him completely different. That was the moment Jay knew things weren't looking good. His reputation was taking a serious hit, and he knew that if it wasn't repaired immediately, it would be forever tainted. This is when Jay-Z started his calculated PR campaign. First, it was the GQ interview where Jay-Z showed up and addressed the things being said about him. But this was a softball puff piece interview designed to make him look good. We will talk more about this later. Now his second attempt is this freestyle where he's going viral for aiming bars at several rappers. This was
Horrible to me, man.
Clear. Everything is getting
If y'all peep that freestyle, I mean, listen, and I'm not a Jay-Z fan at all, but I will tell you this, he's one of the illest MCs that I've ever heard on the mic. I mean, there's no denying that. But that freestyle was trash, bro. That's my opinion.
Let's break down these disses and what he said. The first bar Jay said was, Hattie's turning 100. If she had transitioned before I cleared my name, I would have hunted them, every one of them, playing these silly games. That 1-800 ambulance chaser would have wished one came, but 911 is a joke. Public enemy number one, I've been ranked. This bar is obviously about the legal filings that Tony Busby put forward. He directly aimed this bar at Tony Busby by calling him an ambulance chaser. Now he implies that he cleared his name, which technically he did. The only thing he doesn't say is how he got his name cleared. While the individual involved did eventually clear Jay's name, she also came out shortly after and stated she allegedly felt pressure to do so after third parties repeatedly visited her home. She essentially claimed she was backed into a corner regarding her statements. But luckily for Jay-Z, the mainstream media only ran the story that the individual claimed he was innocent. This bar lets you know that these issues still affect Jay. He is still directing his energy to try to convince people he had nothing to do with it. He comes at Busby, who is just a lawyer who took on a claim, because he wants to create a villain to shift the blame to. He wants people to direct their anger at Busby, the ambulance chaser, to mask the fact that he is being inserted and things like that. The next bar Jay-Z rapped was, The rock not crumbling. The leprechauns have magically run out of pranks. Your son is in a federal jail line mumbling something about having too much in his drink. You know how dumb that is? This bar was clearly aimed at Tory Lanez.
What is up? Hold on, before we go any further, does anybody know what's going on with Tory Lanez situation? Didn't they find that he didn't have enough evidence that concluded that happened between him and Stallion? He's still sitting in there, man. And in my opinion, I mean, I don't see how he's still sitting in there. Is all I'm gonna say about that. That's crazy. But if y'all know anything, let me know in the comments with that one.
Meg. Many believe that Rock Nation backed Megan and helped prove her claims against Tory. He spoke directly to Tory's father with the line about your son being on a federal jail line, mumbling. This was in response to Tory's
That's
father
cold.
accusing Jay-Z and Rock Nation of having something to do with Tory being found guilty. Specifically, the interview he did outside the courthouse where he named them as the masterminds behind Tory's downfall. Tory himself has come out and made a whole album from prison where he calls out Jay-Z several times. He repeatedly implies that they allegedly are the reason that he is where he is today. It's interesting
feel the
seeing
same
Jay
way.
respond to this after ignoring it for so long. It shows that he knows people believe he might have had something to do with it. It's why he's saying Tory is in prison because he snitched on himself. Jay knows he can no longer ignore it and just keep it pushing. Now, this next bar was clearly a direct shot at Nicki. Jay rapped, "The lady back on the stuff. She sounds like she's in love with them. Her Ken can't even pick up their kids. Enough of them. A rapper can't be my op. I got MAGA Republicans." Those shots came from the very top of the government. Good luck with them. I'm governed by God. You try to break the covenant. Now, this ties back to Nicki's recent comments on Rock Nation. For the last few years, Nicki has been very vocal about Rock Nation. She has made several allegations that paint Jay-Z as a powerful corporate bully who tries to control the industry. Nicki claims that
don't
because
doubt
she
it.
refused to work with his company, they have been allegedly working against her. She believes they have been utilizing all types of shady methods to block her industry success. A few months back, she went on a Twitter rant where she unleashed on Jay-Z. She even pointed out his long history of dating girls who are a lot younger than him. Nicki has made it clear she believes Jay-Z is the boogeyman of the industry. But in this freestyle, Jay is telling you not to listen to her because she's on the stuff and is working for the red side. This line was obviously pointing to Nicki's recent conservative shift earlier this year. But again, this is just Jay-Z trying to shift the blame and paint himself as the victim. Earlier with the Tony Busby situation, he paints Busby as an ambulance chaser who came after him for no reason. Jay was the victim of a greedy money grab. Now Nicki is the loony woman who's working for the right to bring him down. Jay wants you to desperately see him as the victim who is being attacked by jealous people who want what he has. He wants you to think he did nothing wrong. It's why he strategically chose to respond now after months of these allegations
agree.
being out there, because he knows people are starting to believe Nicki. This freestyle connects directly to his recent interview. The first thing Jay-Z addressed in his GQ sit-down was the claims against him. Now, while Jay-Z technically addressed it when it first broke, it was through a cold, calculated written statement, the kind penned by a high-priced legal team to minimize damage. This 2026 GQ feature was his first time speaking on it in person, and what he said tells you everything you need to know. When questioned about the nature of the situation, he claimed he was heartbroken and filled with uncontrollable anger. He argued that because of his street codes, he could never be capable of what he was accused of. Again,
Come on, man.
Jay-Z was just painting himself as the victim that people were coming after for no reason. He never once addressed the actual claims or why he believes he was thrown into this conversation to begin with.
I mean, we all know this man's loaded with money, and you know what they say, man. Money talks as BS walks, man. And this dude behind closed doors is definitely BSing somebody behind the scenes because he's pulling a lot of strings with the kind of money he has, for real.
Also doesn't talk about how his name was actually cleared. And the worst part about it is that the interviewer did not push back at all. They just set up the questions so Jay-Z could paint himself however he wanted. This wasn't a standard interview.
playing
It was a
victim.
masterclass in PR damage control. They wanted to ensure that every single person who clicked saw Jay-Z clear the air immediately so they can spend the rest of the time talking about whatever else he wanted. This shows how much the pressure is finally reaching the top. Think about how Jay-Z spent years not responding to anything said about him. Despite all the rumors, he remained unbothered. But clearly, that is all changing. Too many people are saying the same things about him. He is not able to escape the claims because they're so prominent. We have to remember Jay-Z isn't just a hip-hop mogul. He has entered the world of corporate America and is one of the faces of the biggest performances in America, the Super Bowl. That connects his brand directly to the NFL, which means he must keep his reputation positive. Everything is building up against Jay. The claims, the rumors, the legal issues, it's all piling up, and chances are those higher ups are ordering him to fix it. They have likely told Jay he is no longer the positive cultural icon he once was. Now, people are starting to see him as a shady corporate sellout who uses everyone who comes in contact with him. This is why Jay-Z is so desperate to change the narrative, why he's doing these fake interviews where he's the only one talking, why he's jumping on stage, aiming bars at everyone who dares mention him after he quit rapping years ago. Now, this is what Jay-Z is doing in the public, but what he is doing behind the scenes should be examined too.
Exactly.
Recently, those who have had negative things to say about Jay and Roc Nation have been getting the call. Some are even waking up to legal paperwork at their front door. We already saw what happened between the blogger Milagro and Megan Thee Stallion. Meg took her to court because she didn't like the way
With that being said, I mean, what do you guys feel about Jay-Z coming out with all these, new things that he's trying to back himself up with and doing these freestyles to try to protect his name and playing the victim, in my opinion, if you ask me. But let me know what you think in the comments below. I feel like he's in hot waters too behind the scenes, man. If he doesn't get it together, he might be with his boy, hanging back behind them walls for a little bit of time. You feel what I'm saying? So with that being said, let me know what you think in the comments below. And I'll be in touch real soon. One love, y'all.